Was any planets flung out of the solar system beside Pluto? The gravitational influences of the Sun set the 8 worlds of the solar system in beautiful orbits. Were there just 8 planets generated during the formation of our solar system? Were there other planets in our solar system when it formed? According to our observations of other solar systems, it appeared that there were additional planets, some massive and others the size of Mars. One giant was most likely ejected out of our solar system. What happened to them? Where are they now? Was there a ghost planet in our solar system too? If so, where is it now? Why can't we see it now? In today's video, we'll talk briefly about the ghost planet, our solar system's lost giant. The formation of our solar system and planets. Most people today believe that everything we see around us, from the massive sun to the tiniest piece of rock, from Saturn's beautiful ring to the white shiny moon, was formed 5 billion years ago in the solar nebula, along with the formation of the solar system. You may not believe it, yet the entire mass of our solar system, which we see around us, accounts for only 0.002% of the solar nebula. When our sun formed, the remainder of the matter was violently blown away. All of the planets we see around us began to form approximately 4.6 billion years ago. Following the birth of the sun, matter in the accretion disk gathered, forming clumps of rocks that suffered more collisions and eventually formed planets. However, the planets we see today were not the only ones that created. They were the only ones who survived the events that followed the formation of these planets. Giant gas planets like Jupiter formed a solid core before capturing a large atmosphere. In contrast to the gas giants, the inner 4 planets had a large supply of molten rocky material. As a result, these planets produced a molten core that then accumulated additional cosmic dust and minerals to build a huge planetary mass. These planets collided multiple times, ejecting debris into space. This debris was used to produce natural satellites, such as our moon, which was formed by a collision between Earth and a planet comparable to Mars. As a result, only the strongest planets survived, while the weaker ones were annihilated. Some surplus material was used to create other cosmic objects like meteors, asteroids, and comets. The universe also adheres to the survival of the fittest principle. Cheers and be proud of yourself. You are one of the greatest in the universe. All unused material for subsequent planet creation was tossed into distant space. Some of this material was grabbed by the sun billions of kilometers away, resulting in the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. Finally, 10 large planets, as well as numerous other dwarfs and planets such as Pluto, remained standing despite the universe's upheaval. With time, the planets settled into a stable orbit around the sun. The stability period lasted millions of years, divided into stages. So what happened to the other planets, especially our giant 9th planet? As previously established, the cosmos follows the Sigma rule, which is survival of the best. Most of the planets were destroyed by collisions with one another, ejecting a large amount of material into distant space. Some of this debris gathered and created a disk around the sun, which we now call the asteroid belt. However, research undertaken by a group of great brains among astronomers established the existence of the ghost planet in our solar system. Introduction to the lost planet. In 2011, David Nesvorny, an astronomer at the Southwest Research Institute, led a team that conducted simulations to study planet orbits in the early solar system. The research focused on the migration of planets from one stable orbit to another while interacting with nearby cosmic materials, which can expand or reduce the size of a planet's orbit. The solar system was not always this steady. During the solar system's unstable phase, the 5 outer giant planets, including the ghost giant, engaged in a gravitational tug-of-war. The NICE model instability refers to a time of instability in the solar system. We shall examine the NICE model instability theory later, as it is a completely separate topic. This notion rattled the fundamental foundations of solar system theories, leading astronomers to wonder if there was a 9th planet, as well as whether Neptune and Uranus swapped places in space. This is best discussed later. While performing their simulations, the scientists concluded that there were 5 outer planets, not four as we know them today. After several futile attempts, they thought that the fifth giant's mass was comparable to that of Uranus, and that its orbit would be between Uranus and Neptune. Nesvorny used specific settings to align the results with our current understanding of the solar system. 1. The four giants' orbits were thought to be roughly similar to their current orbits. 2. The final planetary calibration was expected to have 4 planets remaining. 3. The third requirement was based on the eccentric centers of the 5 planets. Eccentricity is a mathematical word that describes how elliptical or ovoid the orbit of a planet will be. According to the models, the ejection of the giant occurred roughly 600 million years after the creation of the solar system, i.e., during our solar system's period of instability, which is consistent with our projections. The remaining planets then stabilized and moved to the orbits we see today. But why was it thrown into outer space far from our home? Nesvorny concluded that Jupiter and Saturn played the most significant roles in the fifth giant's ejection from our solar system. To understand how this could happen, we must first understand how gravity from one planet influences the other. We will go over this phrase further in this video. Please be patient and believe in us. Now, returning to the hypothesis, let us consider 2 cosmic bodies, Jupiter and the lost giant. Jupiter decided to have some fun in the beginning when everything was chaotic. It deviated from its original orbit around the Sun and wandered around kicking any material that got in its way. We don't mean it was having fun. Because of the presence of other materials in our solar nebula, the majority of the objects were in turmoil, changing their orbits and so on. Jupiter was no exception to this. This led Jupiter to engage with the giant planet. However, Jupiter was not the only one interacting with the giant planet. Other celestial objects like Saturn and Neptune were also responsible for kicking the massive planet. For the sake of simplicity, let us define kicking as the violent interaction between 2 celestial bodies in which they both try to maintain their existing orbits, resulting in the more massive planet pushing the less dominant planet further away in space for self-stability whenever they come into contact. We will use this term again in this video. This is where the story twists for Jupiter and the ghost planet occur. Every time the ghost planet came into contact with Jupiter, Saturn, and the rest of the giants, it received gravitational kicks from them, pushing its orbit further away from the Sun, until one last time when Jupiter kicked it so hard that it never returned as close to the Sun as it had been. It was not thrown out of the Sun's orbit, but rather into an orbit that was too big to monitor. From that point forward, the planet's interactions with other stars, as well as the combined gravitational pull of external stars, drew it further away from us, forever roaming in the deep and silent darkness of the universe, unaffected by all that happened in the universe. Other examples of planets being thrown out of their solar systems. The ghost planet isn't the only planet in our universe that is far from its home, much like us humans. Recent discoveries have revealed that a large number of planets are departing their respective solar systems for a variety of causes, ranging from instability to distance. Some planets' orbits have even been discovered to be larger than that of our Oort cloud, albeit such examples are uncommon. The ghost planet was undoubtedly a mystery to astronomers, but we were never less curious when it came to factual proof. As of today, we are observing thousands of solar system formations, thanks to our partners, the Hubble telescope and the James Webb telescope. But can we really assume that this is all there is to the lost giant? Was this the only reason the ghost planet escaped our realm of visions? Was the lost planet ever part of our solar system? Could it be that the ghost planet was never a part of our solar system, but rather an extraterrestrial wandering planet whose direction of motion was altered by its encounter with our solar system? Could it be that the ghost giant, the 9th planet, is still orbiting our Sun? We'll leave the doubts to you. And of course, do not be afraid to ask questions in our comments area. We love hearing from you and responding to all of your comments. Also, keep sharing the love on our channel. It helps us create more fascinating articles like this, which piques both your and our interest. Stay tuned for additional updates and continue to be madly inquisitive.